Greetings and welcome to my presentation in the subject Practices in Bilingual Learning Environments. My name is Carlos Manuel de la Cruz and I'm so glad for you to see this. First of all, let me introduce the activity which is contrasting the diverse pedagogical practices, demonstrating that the pedagogical practices are varied according to the context and community needs. This presentation particularly is divided in three different segments. First of all, we have the context, then we have the pedagogical practices, and finally we have the reflection. To start with it, let's talk about the context. In the context, we need to talk about the Centro de Reclusión La Badea. The context consists of the La Badea Detention Center in Dos Quebradas, Risaralda. In this center, we find the population of this particularly element of teaching, which consists of women deprived of liberty between convicted and accused of different crimes. In this center, whose administration is in charge of the National Penitentiary and Prison Institute, INPEC, a series of programs related to work, academic training, and teaching are carried out. These processes allow the inmates to apply for various forms of sentence reductions. The ages of these women range between 21 and 70 years, and their socioeconomic background ranges from level 0 to 3. In turn, their academic training is predominantly basic, and there is even an illiterate segment of the population, with some specific cases on which we can find training in higher education. Taking into account the fact that within the prison centers of the country, various training processes are carried out in different areas of knowledge, among which are languages, natural education, natural sciences, social sciences, philosophy, educational physics, and mathematics, artistic education, and foreign language. The latter is on which we are focused, and this ranges for respect for diversity and differences both in the specific context and in other contexts, and communication with other cultures in accordance with the standards of the Common European Framework of References for Languages. Particularly, reference is made to the group of inmates who are voluntarily enrolled in complementary English courses taught by the National Learning Service, SENA, for people deprived of liberty. Said group consists of a total of 20 inmates who decided voluntarily to enroll in the aforementioned course. Now, talking about this English course, of course, I have previously mentioned that is being served by the SENA, but SENA, through the guidance and training, implies or determines that the inmates acquire tools so that once they regain their freedom, they can join the world of work or start their own business, and those who continue to serve their sentence can expand their skills. Now, talking about the curriculum, we have to talk that the syllabus is based on the process of developing competences, project-based learning, and the use of active didactic techniques that stimulate the process of learning how to solve real or fictitious situations. This syllabus is also intended to stimulate continuously the self-criticism and the self-reflection among the inmates. Now we have to talk about the pedagogical practice that we can find in this particular segment. And as it's mentioned before, we have to talk about the project-based learning. The main pedagogical methodology carried out is project-based learning, as it was mentioned, and we have to Simon Bell here, which will define the PBL as a student-driven approach to learning in which students are required to take part in a real project by developing a question or inquiry and under the supervision of teachers in order to create a project to share with the selected audience. And finally, we come upon with a reflection. The reflection that we establish here is based on what has been indicated by Walsh. We have to attend to Walsh, who indicates the following: the intercultural perspective has been gaining special relevance in Latin America, as well as causing strong discussions in the academic field and of society in general, especially since the 1990s. Different dimensions, political, ethical, social, legal, epistemological, and educational, are analyzed and the subject of both debates by civil society actors, as well as an opportunity for the development of research and other initiatives, courses, seminars, congress, etc., in the university context. It has also stimulated the development of public policies that contemplate this issue. In this particular case, we can find a real interest in providing the inmates with the abilities they will use when they serve their reclusion period, and as well as maintaining it. The main challenge comes when the process must be not only significant but also attractive enough in order to be assumed as a real compromise not only by the learners but also by the authorities who imply such courses in the sentence redemption possibilities. With this, I have come with an end with my presentation. Thank you very much.